G'day and welcome to the Ball Boys AFL Fantasy Live Show for round 23, the second last round of the season, and it is a big one. It's the Content Creators Finals, and one of your boys is in it, and it's this bloke sitting right here. Let's go!
Archer's done it from nowhere. Hoisting the goal from inside the circle. Machine from the boundary. Dusty.
G'day and welcome again to the Ball Boys AFL Fantasy Podcast. I'm your host, Mitch Casey, and you can find me on X at Ball Boys Fantasy, and I am joined by the grand finalist coach of the Mighty Oxlongs, Luke. How are you, mate? Pumped?
Good. Yeah, pumped. A little bit nervous for the matchup, but I feel like I can't lose. I tipped Bales to win it all at the start of the year, and if I don't win, he'll win. I'll get my tip right. And
I reckon losing would be considered losing, but...
No, I like to spin it so that I always win. You know me, mate. You know me.
Yeah, no, fair enough. So, we've got the second last round of the season.
Yeah.
Last round of the Content Creators Cup. Big grand final. Lots happening. We've got a very popular player out in Harry Sheasel. Very nice of him, I will say, to name himself out on the radio the other day.
Smart by him.
Doing it before the day of, because they were playing the Sunday, and if he was like a mystery kind of will he, won't he kind of thing, it would have stuffed a lot of people up. So it's good to know that he's not going to be in now, so we can plan accordingly. But I do think we talked about trading out popular players on the Monday show. Well, we're all going to be trading out a popular player now, so it's going to diversify the ownership a little bit.
Well, I think it could, but I also think there's some very good options that everyone will be looking to go for. Yeah,
we'll get stuck into a few of those options a bit later. Just to go through some of the other ones, there's Tim English. He's out. He's ducking the Sherry matchup. He doesn't want none of that smoke.
Oath. And yeah, so he should too. The X-Mice on fire.
Hanging out his team house to dry a little bit.
Yeah, sorry boys. I never would hit out anyway.
Yeah, no, you're better off without me. You guys just have fun with that. I'll dip. A couple other notable ins. Liam Reedy is coming in for the Dockers, there's still no Sean Darcy, but Liam Reedy's in, who's another ruckman. So
yeah, I hope he's ready to go.
You been working on that one?
No.
Off
the top man, mate.
But those of you who are maybe hoping for a Luke Jackson big score, probably not many of you out there without Sean Darcy. I wouldn't count my chickens just yet. And Cogs is back for the Giants, which may have a flow-on effect with Peatling. We've been worried about Cogs coming back in for Peatling for a little while now. If you haven't been your side, I don't think you need to trade him out, but it would dissuade me trading him in.
Dissuade. Nice.
Yeah, good vocabulary on me over here. So, Yeah, would you agree with that, or do you still think it's fine to trade him in?
No, there's better options now, I think.
I think so too.
I think so, yeah.
In terms of the rest of the team news, there's not a huge amount of other news relevance that I can look. I'm just looking at these Sunday squads. We do have George Wardlaw back in.
The fish? What's the fish doing?
The fish is in.
Okay, a little bit of fishy business there. So
Phillips is out for North, so you could have thought about a little bit of maybe tagging for like a Treloar or a Bont in that matchup. Don't think that's going to happen. I think they did tag Treloar last time they played, so that's good news for Treloar owners. Wardlaw in, Sheasel out. In terms of a Tom Powell, like net neutral, do you think?
I think so.
Role stays the same?
Sheasel's still been that predominant midfielder in there over the last few weeks, and so I think Wardlaw comes in and just takes that share of the CBAs. So
I agree. I think she's obviously collects a few more points and a bit more of the ball, so maybe a slight positive, but I don't think it's going to be a huge change. He has obviously been going really well. And then for the final teams, we've got all the injuries over at Carlton. So Sard, Mackay, Jack Martin, Fogarty, Curnow, Boyd, 6 players all out injured.
Decimated.
We're going to talk about a popular option, or maybe a popular option later in Matt Kennedy. All those outs, and not a whole lot of big names coming in. What do you see happening with a player like Matt Kennedy, and is he an option?
Hey, I like the option this week.
Yeah.
I actually like it. Like you said, we're going to go in a bit more detail later on in one of our other segments, but I think it's one of those ones where at this time of year, we are just, and when I say we, for me, I'm just desperately looking to differentiate my team to try and climb some rank. I had not a bad week last week, I thought, and I climbed like 30 ranking.
It's hard, man. Do you know what I mean? Hard this time
of year. It gets 100%, and I'm glad I'm in the Content Creators Cup final, because outside of that, there's really not much for me to play for at the moment.
Hard to get up and about for something to play for in that regard. So, Speaking of the Content Creators Cup, it is brought to you by Infinite Wealth, infinitewealth.com.au/AFL Fantasy. If you haven't already, last couple of weeks, last chance to get your free gift valued at nearly $3,000 for every AFL Fantasy coach. Head to infinitewealth.com.au/AFL Fantasy to claim and for more details. Let's talk. Well, first of all, before we talk about trade targets, we've got a question here to answer from Tim Ashworth.
Yeah, appreciate the super chat, Tim. So he says Sheasel to Sinclair. Hey, that's a win for me.
Like it.
And Sarong to Anderson. Or are we going Sheasel to Sicily? Sarong to Treloar. Keep the big shaman on the bench for Manor.
What are your thoughts on Sicily?
Well, I know why it's tempting this week.
He's got Richmond this week.
He does. I'm still going to say that I prefer Sinclair, but what did we just talk about, didn't we? We just talked about the fact that people might be looking
to differentiate.
So depending on the position that you're in there, Tim, and what you are playing for, but I think I'm still more of that Sinclair kind of...
I mean, Noah Anderson would be another way to differentiate your team.
So you got Sinclair and then Sarong to Anderson is that other part of that trade. So
yeah, like your pods are on... You still got a unique basically in both different scenarios.
I just think I like probably Anderson as that unique with having that safety of Sinclair there too.
Sick Dog could be anything this week. He could be anything. But if it's anything like last week's game for the Richmond Tigers, he'll feast in this. The concern is he's had a fucked up shoulder for the last few weeks, like dislocated, I think, like a month ago. Or
barely get it above his bloody parallel, can he?
Parallel? Parallel. Yeah.
What's perpendicular then?
Right angle.
Oh, well, that would be...
It depends what you're referring it to. Perpendicular to your body, parallel to the floor. There you go.
Wow.
Bit of biomechanics for you. But he... Like, this to me seems like a very prime matchup that if they're smacking Richmond, which they will, why not just sub him out and have a rest and heal him up? Like, don't risk another tackle, messing that shoulder up. He's so important to their team.
Little caveat on that. So, what's your final say for Tim? Is it Sheasel to Sinclair and Sarong to Anderson, or are you risking it on
I think the aggressive play is to go Sicily. I think he's got a bigger ceiling than Sinclair this week.
Okay.
So if you're cautious to the wind and you're just trying to make up rank, or you want to go unique, that's the option. If you're a little bit higher up, you want to be safer, I'd go option 1. So,
well, he features in the defender trade targets. So should we have a look at him?
Let's have a look. Top trade targets for defenders. Now, I think that there is a clear top 4.
Yep.
And I think that we all need to have these top 4, and they are in order: Whitfield, Stewart, Sinclair, Newman. I think we all need to have those 4.
Yeah, can't complain with that.
Sheasel was in there as the big 5, but obviously he's the guy that's injured. We're going to trade him out. So make sure you have those 4 first. After that, I find it harder to rank them. I've got Wang first.
Well,
I've got Nick
you're
Martin.
speaking my language.
I've got Nick Martin second. Then I've got Sicily third. What are your thoughts on those options? Because I could be probably talked in and out of any which way. The thing I like about Nick Martin, I went back and watched bits of that game. He was playing off halfback.
Fuck me.
He was exclusively playing off halfback.
That angers me.
But the more I've listened to other people who are Essendon fans, the more they seem to think that he's going to be back on the wing or forward this week.
Fuck, I hope
I don't know why. I mean, they lost. So I'm not sure. Maybe it didn't work. He did kick a couple goals in the game.
What do you like
before.
about the Wang this week? You got him above Martin, so...
He just feels the safest. And we saw what Freo did to Geelong last week in terms of defenders. I don't know. Like, it's under the roof. Like, it's not in GMHBA. So it's not that super skinny ground. I think he's the safest guy for a 90 to 100 plus. But his ceiling, I don't know, hasn't really been there. Talk me some sense. What are you thinking?
Look, I don't feel great about the Wang, to be honest, and that's unlike me.
Ooh.
I'd probably reorder that list and go Nick Martin, then Sicily just for the potential instant sugar hit, and then Wang. Wang to me, just he feels like the majority of the time you're just going to get that kind of just a ton.
But do I just want that? You know, like
no,
nah,
not right, not
okay,
right now.
I'm trying to hang on to my top 10, mate.
No, sorry, it's about you.
Yeah,
Sorry,
no. Well, a lot of us got the decision. So Wang's a boring answer, would you say?
Yeah.
Like if you're trying to hold ground, you're in the top 100 already. You are where you want to be at. You're playing defensive, you go Wang. If you want to be attacking, you go one of the other two. Is that sort of the way you reckon to play it?
Yeah, I'll go with that.
The Sicily could have 130 this week. There's no doubt about it that's possible.
He definitely could.
Like who? If he's playing a key defensive role, who the fuck is he actually defending in Richmond? Like, we've given up. Our team has completely given up.
How do you pronounce caveat?
Caviar?
Was that a Q?
Oh, the caveat.
I've been called out on my pronunciation. How do you say caveat?
Like a caveat. Like caveat?
Caveat?
I don't know. I'm saying the word sounds
doesn't
weird
have
now.
an O in it. Caveat.
We've said it too many times.
It too much O.
It sounds too weird.
I thought that was a Q. Caveat.
I don't know, but this is making me dizzy. Let's move on. But Sicily. Give us a final yay or nay on Sicily for you.
Yay if you want to just go balls deep.
Is it a move that you've considered?
No.
Just because
I've got a big matchup, man.
Yeah, you can't afford to be messing around with those areas. Okay, yeah, I think it's a caution to the wind type move. Very real possibility that it works. For anyone inside the top 100, I don't know if I could pull the trigger. If you're sort of sitting just outside of it, I think it's a great move.
Go for gold.
Go for gold.
What about some midfielders?
Midfielders, they're hard to split, man. Lions have got a good couple matchups coming up. So they've got Collingwood this week going into Essendon. So I've got Dunkley at number 1. I've got Neil at number 3 here. No Anderson splitting the difference. So big Queensland flavour in this midfield target. No Anderson, I think. No, Clayton Oliver's out as well. So they've got no Petrarca. They've got no Oliver. They've got Gordon running around on one leg, giving shit hit outs compared to what he normally does. So I think Gold Coast should... And they're playing at home. Like, stars aligning, right?
Yeah, I think it could be good. But
we've been
saying that for the last 2 weeks, haven't we?
We have. I think these next two are the best of the 4. Like, they were 4 good matchups. Yep. These last 2 are like the dark green.
The fact that we're at home, I think, actually does make a difference for young Noah.
So I think I like him and he's cheap. Like, he's like 830K, something like that. So pretty easy to get to. Nice little strong switch if you wanted to go that way. And then at number 9, I've got Jack Steele against Geelong. And I think they have Carlton next week, and if they have all those injuries, it might be a better matchup than it has been recently. So
Geelong's the hardest matchup for mids now, after last week.
Well, apparently, Freo made it look that way, didn't they?
Well, Sarong only just turned up, and Brayshaw and Hayden Young was stanky.
Yeah, had to have like a 35-point quarter just to make 80.
Far out.
Freo.
Before we talk some forwards, Power Prawn Star, thank you for the super chat, mate. Dinner and or beer donation. What a legend.
Oh, yes. Thank you
appreciate
very
that.
much. Oh, no, he ignored the Drew advice last week. Oh, finally. Got back to my... I think I did recommend Sheasel.
I think he's still up on the ledger, but I think he's still
Well, it's good to know that some of my advice is okay.
The advice you give yourself must be all right because you're in the top 10. So
Hey, I'm pretty transparent, so you just do what I say and you'd be up there too. Do we have another one? I feel like I saw another one come through. Oh, Tim's got no leagues.
yeah, go
so he's
Sicily
out.
then.
So go Sicily. Why not? Go Sicily then. Yeah. All right, let's go forwards. I haven't been putting Dylan Moore in my forwards targets because I've assumed a lot of us have had him. I've talked about him as like the fifth guy in the top 5. But just in case people don't have Dylan Moore out there, Richmond, North Melbourne, the next 2, you have to have him. He's a guy. He's shown the ceiling last week.
Yeah, it's a bit painful because Hawthorn don't have any hugely fantasy relevant players that we would just love those matchups for. But Dylan Moore, he's a must-have. The next 2, Tom Powell and then Matt Kennedy. Powell.
So, do you agree with the order here?
No,
you go Kennedy over Powell.
Well, Powell's got probably runs on the board of recent times, doesn't he? But then Kennedy went well last week. And
Kennedy's role, man.
He's named at full forward, I'm pretty sure.
He is named at full forward. The thing I saw in the team sheets, the only thing that has me a little concerned is Jack Carroll has been named, and he's played a little bit of midfield time in the past.
Who?
I know, right? But still. And you've got Mackay, Curnow, Fogarty, he's a forward, right? Martin's a forward.
Again, he's not going to play forward.
He plays anything, mate. Like, there's a chance that he actually genuinely plays forward.
No,
but
Cripps will play more forward. There's my tip.
Cripps? He's like 90% mid.
Bro, but he's a beast. He'll go forward.
No, he can't kick it.
Yes, he can.
He can't kick it,
That's my hot
mate.
tip. Mate, when you're clunking him in the square, no dramas.
Look,
I've pulled that out of my ass. check with a Carlton fan. But big Cripper. He's your big-bodied midfield. He's like your Bontempelli. You got nothing going for your forward.
I prefer Matt Kennedy as a punt as Sicily. Because I think the downside is less considering the players he's going against in the forward line.
The line, yeah.
Yeah. The issue is he plays like last game on Sunday, so you can't have a look. He's a guy you're going into.
So you're going Tom Powell?
I've got him there because I'm more assured of his role, but I don't know. Why is...
You were flip-flopping.
Was I? Oh, is that...
Well, that's what's...
Flip-flopped on the... I had it the other way around on the run sheet. Yeah, a tough one for me to say, but look, and we said we'd defer to Roy earlier in the podcast.
Yeah.
He started hot at the start of the week in their first podcast and cooled a lot by the time Thursday came around, so I don't know where that leaves us.
Hey, flip a coin.
Yeah, flip a coin. But I don't know who you'd be trading Kennedy to. Like, say you had, like, Philippou, and he's not back as well, by the way, which is a double that hurts. Like, sickness, missing 2 games.
Oh, it must be the proper runs.
Yeah. Like, who would you be trading if you've got Simpkin? Are you bothering trading Simpkin to Kennedy?
Oh.
Yeah?
I almost would.
Against the Dogs?
I almost would, hey.
How much of an upside is that netting you? I mean, he went...
Is the West Coast matchup...
Yeah.
That, given all the outs that the Blues have, that could turn into a bit of a shit fight potentially.
Yeah. I mean, they'll try and make it like a very ground ball type game, right? And that's where he tackles. He gets
what are the
there.
Dogs like as a matchup for Powell?
Average to hard. Yeah.
It's probably a flip of the coin. We love sitting on the fence.
It's hard. I mean, this time of year, man, it's.
Oh, I got so many splinters in my arms.
I refer to my order. This is my order, but as you heard in my run sheet where I was doing this earlier this week, it was the other order. So very tight call there. But I think the tiebreaker, I think Kennedy is cheaper. So if it's all you can afford, then I think it is okay.
Oh,
all
man.
right.
Have you got your goggles or have you left them in the car?
No, they're here. They're here, mate. Always
beauty.
here.
Okay.
Let's do them. Woo! Let's go! Second last big boys, and it's almost redundant these days because we got history in the making coming up this week. It's fourth 150 in a row that Tristan Sherry's going for. However, he's not number one on my big boys, but
you don't need to worry about your number one if you've got it on the
I don't think it matters. I think the top 2 are our top 2. And you go on Marshall into Sherry.
Mate, just for this week, next week, last week?
All the weeks.
Just don't worry about it.
The question which I've been seeing going around, and the traders, they made me laugh, but they were asking the question, what is the line that you need to take from a Rowan Marshall?
180.
180. So higher than any score that Sherry's done.
This is the problem with putting it on. Like, this is the issue.
It'd be awesome if Sherry was first.
100% it would be, because what are you doing with that? Like, Marshall could give you a 130, and there could be a world where you're sitting there thinking...
You lose 40 points.
What the fuck? Oh, this sucks. I'm going to do something different then.
Well, what are you going to do?
Marshall's got Geelong. Got Geelong. That could be a 160.
Yeah, that's the thing, right? So he's the highest averaging player going up against the easiest matchup for Rucks. So he's number one on the big boys.
Man, this big boys thing's so easy.
It is easy. The other smoky I like here is Dane Zorko versus Collingwood. Okay. They've been giving us some big scores for half-backers, and I think Dane Zorko could go large in this one. Is there an option, if you are really, really confident with the Tristan Sherry, could you VC him with the idea that maybe you could go a Sam Walsh or something like that in the last game? Because a lot of people are going to be going into Sherry.
I know I'm playing around a little bit, but you can't ignore Marshall against the best matchup for Rucks, can you?
Yeah, I don't think you can. I mean, in fact, I've got him as my number one. I have him over Sherry.
Is it at Marble too?
It is.
So
it's at Marble City.
It's going to be, you'd imagine, Stoppage City there.
Yeah.
Marble's not a huge ground, I don't think.
It's a bit narrower than some of the cricket grounds.
I just, you know what I mean?
He got 140 last week with no tackles.
He's going to have tackles. He's going to have 40 plus hit outs, and he's going to go forward and he's going to kick greater than 2 goals.
He's been doing that recently,
Just
hasn't he?
revealed my spicy tape, probably.
Oh, there you go. So what's the line? You put the VC on Marshall. What does he have to score for you to turn down Sherry?
I still don't think you can be stupid.
Yeah.
I don't think you'd be stupid. Anything above 120 you have to take. Because the reason, like...
I think Rory was saying 140.
Let's go!
140.
Fuck yeah.
I couldn't do that. If I'm seeing a 125 on my team, I'm taking it.
But I think the reason that we have a line and take what's just above the line is not because you don't think Sherry can score 150. It's the injury.
What if he does a syndesmosis in the first quarter?
Well, that's never happened to him, so you would read about it.
What if he gets concussed and runs on his face again?
That would have been the fucking pick of the year for me last year. He would have been to 150s every week for me. I'm telling you.
Yeah,
well, the points per minute was huge.
Mate, it's carried over, hasn't it?
Anywho, so 120. I'll up it by 10 to what we normally say.
I'm a 120 as well. I think. Look, if you, like I said before, with that, like, are you playing defensive? You're playing aggressive. Yeah. If you're where you want to be, you've got a matchup, or you feel like you're ahead, or if you're sitting, inside the top 1,000 or top 100, wherever you're like trying to get to, and you're there already. Don't risk an injury by taking on a 130, trying to get more. Don't get greedy.
But just be prepared that you might end the weekend in tears.
You might.
You might start your Sunday in tears.
But if you've got nothing to lose, you're sitting at 200 or you're sitting at back from your matchup, and you just think, well, fuck it. What's the difference between sitting, 200th versus 300th? Like, whatever. Have a crack. If you get a 120, maybe you can go and have a look at Tristan Sherry, and it'll be a fun experience anyway.
Is it even worthwhile discussing the rest of your big boys? Or?
I mean, not really. I mean, Josh Dunkley's there at 4, Errol Goulden's at 5, 6 through 10. I've got Noah Anderson, Lockie Whitfield, Sam Walsh, Sam Flanders, and Jack Sinclair.
Every single team still competing should now have Marshall and Sherry, because if you still had English, that's the trade you're now making. So I don't think the rest of it's relevant.
And if you don't have I think the people who don't have them have given up. I was close, and I still had a bit to play for.
And this, I don't think, is a week where you can pod it with your captain and try and go up against those guys, because it's unlikely to work in your favour.
Zorko with the VC, I don't hate, but we're all going into Sherry, I think.
Yeah. Speaking of something to play for, is it Hutchmate?
Hutchmate.
What's he's got a quite super chat here for us? What's the question?
40 points off a hat. Do I trade Heaney or keep my team unique and do Merritt out for Ando? I would rather be trading out Merritt, I think. I flagged this at the start of the week. Merritt more than likely gets tagged this week. Now, he's coming off a 130, one of his best scores of the year. This is kind of like what I did with Tom Green a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Matchup versus form, right? And I think, they're not tagging Nick Martin, are they? They're not tagging anyone else.
I think it'll be Merritt.
Yeah. I think Merritt cops the tag. Heaney, I don't think anyone could tag him. And again, it's the question of the forward line, like who are you going to? So I think a Merritt to Ando would be a much more upsidey type play, and it's a way to differentiate your team.
Yeah, I do like the point you make about who you're going to. I think that's probably something.
Do you think that, like, this person, Hutchmate, 40 points off a hat, do you think he needs to do something spicy like this?
2 weeks, 40 points. Yeah, maybe.
It's still doable. I like the move. Like, I don't think it's a complete, like, Hail Mary, just dumb move.
No, because you're looking for matchup. You're going against a poor matchup.
Yeah, so I think it's okay. And I think Essendon have another tough matchup next week. Let's have a look. They got the Lions at the Gabba. So and Merritt's not typically been someone that's put up ceiling scores this year. Like, he's been solid.
Yeah.
So yeah, bit of a flip of the coin, but yeah, I do like it.
Okay, nice. I support sausage.
Supports us.
Oh, I didn't even see that. I was just saying I support sausage also. But appreciate the content this year, boys. Enjoy the off season. Much love.
Oh, thanks, mate.
Appreciate the support, and thank you very much for the super chat. Thank you. Sam's got a question. I'm going Sherry VC into the Newman.
Oh, okay, that's a nice one.
Newman against the Tigers.
Yeah. No. West Coast.
West Coast.
Yeah.
Fuck, I just love the Tigers matchup for everyone. Can everyone play the Tigers?
Can we all have
every
Richmond
week?
Yeah. I mean, they'll with all the injuries, they'll need it in their best players' hands a bit more.
Sam could be laughing because he could have the VC on Sherry when all of us have the VC on Marshall.
Yeah, and if Marshall goes 130, like, I think push comes to shove, a lot of us are going to take it, and the people who aren't taking it are probably, coming back from a bit.
Have the doggies brought in a ruckman to certified ruckman?
I don't think they have. I think it is Sam Tarsi who is the one going up.
This is going to be Sherry. Hit out, tackle.
I mean, that's him every week,
tackle.
mate.
This is just his arm. This is his arm movement.
Yeah.
They don't go anywhere else. Except for when he gets this one.
What if he starts scoring in the first quarters?
Oh, well. It's over.
We'll have to
put a fork in it.
Watch that. No, I don't mind the Sherry VC move. I know I'm pretty sure Selby talks about this, and he likes to do it this way and pick the player they think is going to score the best and VC them.
Yep.
So that's like a double shot, basically. It's not how I like to do it, but I can see the merit in the play. So I like it.
Oh, sorry, Hutch. Apologies, mate. He's trading Heaney in.
Oh.
He traded him on the suspension, hasn't got him back. So trading Heaney in would be the way to keep the team vanilla.
Trade Heaney in. Oh, I missed that.
Okay.
I just assumed everyone had Heaney. Trading Heaney in. Oof. It would have hurt you last week. That would have been a tough one to watch.
But only just, you know what I mean? Like, we're talking a huge last quarter to hurt you. So is there a chance you just go, keep Heaney out?
In this case, then yes, that changes my mind. I do think, you trade Heaney in. Like we sort of said, you're only 40 points off.
Yeah, I think go with the vanilla-ish.
If you were like 80 points off, 100 points off.
That's more of the...
It's a little bit of like you need a bit more, but 40 points is not much at the end of the day.
Yeah. So get in Heaney.
I'm thinking you might have other ways to differentiate. Maybe if you've got Sheasel, like who you go to Sheasel, maybe that's like a bit more of a unique play. Risk it there.
Yep.
But secure the safety in Heaney, I think is probably the way I'd play it.
Sorry, Hutch. Reading's not our strong suit. Let's go one more for Woodpecker. Love that name. Tough as woodpecker lips.
Hey.
Which one? Young to Stewart or Merritt to Treloar?
Young to Stewart, Merritt to Treloar. I think it has to be Young to Stewart.
Not based on what my spicy take says in a second.
Oh, no. So, I'm assuming you're the other one?
Nah, probably still trading Young to Stewart. If you don't have Stewart, get Stewart in. But then, again, Merritt. But North for Treloar is not a good matchup for mids. Am I right in saying that?
They haven't been that great, no.
Yeah. So it's not like you're getting off Merritt and then getting Treloar on a great matchup.
I do think on any given week they could become a good matchup. Do you know what I mean? Like, they haven't been historically. And maybe it's just Sherry just fucking tackling everyone and people in the midfielders just beaten up and bruised.
No points
and
available in there.
just
Because he's not hitting it out to players. He's grabbing it himself.
No, he's grabbing out of the ruck. He's tackling people. People are fucking sore. They don't want to tackle after that. Like,
No one wants to go near that guy.
no, so there's not any handball change. They're just whacking it out of there and it's done. It's over.
I'll say young to Stewart Woodpecker, but don't crucify me for my spicy take in a sec.
Yeah, no, I like it. All right, let's go.
You ready, mate?
Do some spicy takes.
You gotta do yours on the fly, mate. Nothing in the run sheet.
I've got it in the old noggin up here.
Keep it a secret from me, righto?
Yeah.
Lead us off then.
Oh, well, I've got this one here. Spicy take, Revenge of the Fanatics. Bales, the beater, wins the fantasy finals,
Whoa.
the Content Creators Cup, smashes you, and it's one apiece for the Ball Boys versus Fanatics, setting up next year as the decider. Again,
I don't know if I like that, mate. I love
well, I fucking ruined it for us last week by predicting us both in the finals, so I'm going
You got to
the old
reverse it.
switcheroo.
Yeah,
again.
nice. Smart move. Look, I'm not going to put my spicy take anywhere near that matchup. I don't want to put anything on it. So I'm going to go redemption for Hayden Young.
Oh, why? I mean, it's spicy, I guess, but
Just because.
just because he's a tough boy.
I see the top not flowing.
Yep.
I see the points flowing as well.
Yep.
120 plus for Hayden Young.
GWS.
Everyone's off him.
Not expecting it.
Exactly. Stinky last week against a great matchup. Hayden Young's just gonna.
He likes it tough. We've said this before.
He loves it tough, and he's just going to finish the year solid for me because now I'm forced to hold him.
You're holding him.
Well,
Yeah,
I'm not
true.
forced to, but I think I'm going to do it because hey,
All right.
why not?
Optimism.
Correct.
It's a hope. It's a dangerous thing, right?
But also, I'll see what Bale's up to, and then I might change my plans.
Still sneaky listen in, see what he's going through. So
Oh, beautiful. Should we answer some questions?
let's answer some questions. Drop them down in the comment section below or the live chat and we'll get through to them. Otherwise, if you don't get them answered or you want them answered on the down low, head over to Ask Me On Q / Ball Boys to get your questions answered with a little sneaky inbox message by yours truly. All right.
I don't know if anyone's said down low since, the early 2000s, maybe.
Yeah, well, I'm showing my...
You're bringing
my
it back,
age.
mate.
Yeah,
Bringing it back.
bringing it back.
Okay, pick a question. What do we got?
All right. I thought they were spicy takes, not mozzie takes. Yeah, well, I've got to pull out all the stops. I've got to pull out all the stops.
Hey, you think I'm not the favourite, mate?
And yeah, it would be spicy. No, it's got to be a spicy take because you're the overwhelming favourite. That's why.
Gotcha.
It's a vote of confidence for you.
Nice.
All right. Let's go. Brayshaw to Steele or Simpkin to Powell? Brayshaw to Steele. What are we thoughts about Brayshaw?
Sorry. I was just reading the beer trivia.
Ignoring me completely.
What was it?
Brayshaw, Andrew Brayshaw. He sucked last week.
He sucked
and
indeed.
he should have been good. And now he's going to the Giants. Now,
Yeah.
a lot of us are concerned about Sarong, and I think rightfully so about the Bedford tag. But is Brayshaw, is he just as much of a concern?
No.
Agreed.
Yes, but no, because I think, again, at this time of year, we're looking for the guys that have the potential ceiling. Like, you can trade in a guy that's going to give you between 95 and 105. You can find those guys everywhere. But can you find a guy that could potentially, on his day, give you 150 if he gets off the chain and his tag teammate gets tagged? For me, he's that guy that can potentially do that for you.
Yeah, I think there was a game early in the year against Carlton when they were firing around, and I think Sarong did get tagged, and Brayshaw got off the chain for a 140 or something like that.
He's a guy that can do that.
So he can do that. Is it worth trading him to Steele or getting in a Simpkin to a Tom Powell?
I
think these trades are a flip of the coin, eh?
They're a little bit, but I think Simpkin to Powell is likely to get you more points this week than Brayshaw to who was
Brayshaw to Steele.
Brayshaw to Steele, yes, has been cooking. I agree, but Simpkin to me is an 80 guy. Tom Powell in that juicy new role.
There's something about Powell just, I don't know.
He burnt you early this year.
He's burnt us all.
He has.
Why has he been scoring well? He
Naughty
kicked 2
power.
goals last week, a goal the week before against Richmond, West Coast Richmond back-to-back. Part of me, again, I'm flip-flopping because I had him above Kennedy earlier. I'm gonna say Brayshaw to steal.
Okay.
Very tentatively.
We'll agree to disagree on that one.
Yeah.
Okay. Sheasel and English. Both got to go. It makes it easy.
Yep.
To Newman and Gawn or to Marshall / Robert / Sicily.
Newman or...
You're not going Gawn.
No, you can't go
especially
Gawn.
when Marshall. You have to go Marshall, don't you?
Yeah, get Marshall.
Marshall
And do the best you can with the other trade.
take on Sicily.
Yeah, I think in that situation I would do that.
Take it on, Cameron.
Yep.
Go just hammer and tong. Beautiful.
What about some cheaper options for defenders? Because Taco Chicken's asking here. He's got
Who's
800k
asking?
flack. Taco Chicken.
That sounds more like dinner than a question.
Yeah. Oh, no,
What do we got? What should we have for dinner?
dinner?
We'll do his question first, then we'll talk dinner.
Mexican's sounding good after the Taco Chicken question. Best 800k or below, some cheap defenders. So in that price bracket, you've got players like Max Holmes against St Kilda, 780,000. He's been a bit poor recently,
He's
though.
not as safe as houses anymore, is he?
No, he's global financial crisis over here with Max Holmes.
The arse has fallen out of it.
Yeah, so I don't know if I do that. And Saints actually haven't been as easy to score against recently. So I think I'm leaning the McKercher.
Yeah, what do you think the big Kircher's going to do? I know Sheasel hasn't been really taking his
He went
points.
37 touches last week.
Oh, mate.
So I think I'm there.
You wouldn't go looking at your mate Rivers that you
He put
all
up
in
a
on? He
dog
put on
shit score
He put on a
last
big
week.
score last week at 41.
He was going good up until then,
Well,
but he just has that
sort of.
ability. I mean, Gold Coast is a solid matchup, and there's with Oliver now not there, like...
Yeah. 40, you're up the Rivers without a
I think McKercher's the one for me. I ignored you and just think what I was going to say, which is what most of this podcast is.
I butchered it anyway. Don't worry.
I'm going McKercher there.
Yeah, get the Kirch in.
Yeah.
You wouldn't go a little cheeky on the fish? See what the fish does on his way
No,
back in?
hell no. No. Don't want fish. It'll be...
How does the fish go? Oh, that's the one. I don't know what I was doing. I was a snake.
Barracuda.
I was a little snake.
Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Yeah, I think of all the cheap options, he's the one I would go to. Hold on. What about Danny Rioli? He had a big score last week.
He did.
135.
He had a massive score. Why did he have a massive score, but Mitch?
Because we want to trade him. We're trying to get more picks.
Yeah. Get your value up, bro. Not against Hawthorn. No thanks.
Yeah, no.
Have a look at his 3 scores before.
Yeah.
Not for me.
Martin or Dacos? I didn't talk about Dacos in my trade-in targets. What are your thoughts on him coming up against Brisbane and Melbourne these last couple of weeks? Obviously, he had the 71 last week. I think I'm forced to hold him, but
So
could
this
you
person
trade
wants
him
to trade in Martin and
trade
Dacos?
in Dacos or Nick Martin? Which Nick?
So you're telling me that in your sort of research this week, a lot of intelligent Essendon people are suggesting that Nick Martin will not hold that role.
Well, I've heard Warney say it. So that's about it. That's my resource.
But Warney is well connected.
I think I heard Free Kick Liam was saying that he was expecting him to go forward. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe he's an Essendon supporter and clued in.
Then I would prefer Dacos, but that sounds ridiculous given what happened last week, doesn't it?
If I could guarantee Nick Martin's playing half back, it'd be there.
Yeah.
It'd be there straight away.
But if he's not...
Because I think I'm coming from this from a different lens to what most people are. A lot of people might have traded him out in the last week or two. I've traded him out 6-7 weeks ago. So I look at it as in, he scored like a 140 on my head a few weeks ago, but I wasn't tempted to trade him in because he did it on the back of 4 or 5 goals at that time.
Yep.
This past week when he went 127, that was in the role that we started with him at the start of the year.
Yep.
And he played 100% time on ground. Like, he didn't come off the floor. Off the field.
Because he wasn't on the floor.
Getting into basketball talk. So if he does that again, like that 120's pretty safe, I would assume.
Chump change.
But if he's on the wing, half forward, it's less encouraging. But I mean, he can still score in that position. Like, he's been doing 80s, 90s.
Yeah.
So I honestly think the upside is probably with Martin, which is why he made my top 3 and not Dacos. But I mean, Dacos against Melbourne next week should have a field day.
Yeah, you'd have to think so.
It's just this week's matchup against Brisbane. Does he get tagged? I don't think Brisbane tag.
No, I don't think he's getting a
much.
hard tag. Just the troubling thing with Dacos at the moment is he's unbelievable to watch, and all the above, but he just
doesn't have the help.
tackle.
He does. When he does, he scores well, but most weeks
It's
that's
too
not
infrequent.
the case.
Would you so Sheasel, everyone's moving on. Would you consider getting rid of Peatling this week as well, or if you have Peatling,
I don't see I think most teams will be able to do moves to make points elsewhere because Peatling's an easy F7 loop.
Yeah,
He plays early. So I think it's fine. Just have a look.
Sam jumped in with a super chat to let us know Perkins named on the wing, Martin to half back. Are you trusting the team? It's tough, isn't it? Because sometimes it's just.
I try not to look at. I don't even look at the team sheets. I just look to see if they're in or if they're not. Like I literally pay no attention to it.
Hey,
Perkins, he plays a bit of a half forward coming up to the stoppage role. I don't know. There's no Ridley. I think he's a week away, so he might be back for the last game.
To me, you can probably be pretty safe that Dacos is going to be 100, somewhere in between 100, 105 guy for the next 2 weeks. That's my sort of tip on it.
So I think he's a safer option.
But if you're looking for the potential to get ahead of everyone else and maybe get a guy that could go 130 for the next 2 weeks,
I think Nick Martin's actually higher owned is the other thing.
Then I go Nick Martin for like in those two scenarios, perhaps.
I think I'm Nick Martin but yeah, it really depends and hinges on that role.
Good question here from Sean. Got 3 options. Are we trading Sarong or Young to Sinclair? Maybe some DPP there.
Yep.
Or
Wood to
Dylan Moore.
Wood's got to go to Moore. You can't have Mason Wood in your team. What's it? I don't even know what he's been doing. But
with Dylan Moore playing the traffic cones this week.
What's Wood been doing? 86 last week, but then 55, 79. It's got Geelong. Nah, I'd still be trading him out. If you can only get an 86 versus Richmond, when you verse a good team like Geelong.
Dylan Moore could be on for one this week.
Yeah.
You talked about how bruise-free that game was on the weekend, and he just imagine they're just going to be
He had 15 marks last week.
Hey,
he'll have 25 marks this week.
15 marks this week. Oh, man.
I think that's it. But at the same time, I am pretty keen to get off Sarong. I think he is going to have a poor score. If I was to prioritise like moves, obviously you try to trade injured players. Sarong out in the midfield is probably the next highest in that priority, unless you've got. I like to lean back on role, and Mason Wood's not playing a good role. So in that situation, I might lean it. But if you've got like a Simkin, if you've got like a Myers, a Peatling, I don't think I'd bother with that move. But yeah, Wood, I think, is a different story. Do you agree, or do you think they're all kind of similar?
Wood's a guy that's shown, even in the wrong role, that there is a ceiling there, but you probably...
Chuck that fan on, I'm sweating like bullets over here.
Sorry, mate. I should be the one nervous. I'm in the big matchup. But, I mean, he's shown a huge ceiling in the wrong role, but like you said, the data over the last couple of weeks suggests, and it's not like he's coming into juicy matchups or anything like that. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I think I'm getting Dylan Moore there. I mean, he's super highly owned as well, and it's going to hurt if he puts up another big 130.
Couple of questions about Matty Roberts and James.
Oh, yeah.
To get your thoughts. What do you reckon? Matty
He
Roberts.
might be another option in that cheap
He's coming
kind
off
of range.
A couple of tons and a couple of 90s, I think.
Yeah, 91, 93, 138, 102, 89 in his last 5. Essendon, Adelaide in his last 2.
So as an option for Sheasel, he's
probably the best player on the 700k.
Would you prefer him to a Stewart, to a Wang, to a Sicily?
No. I don't think I would. I mean, he's been good. He's also had some good... I mean, he went a ton against Brisbane, which is impressive. 93 versus Port, although they're actually not a bad matchup for half-backs.
What's Essendon like as a matchup for half-backs?
I'm pretty sure...
That trade's locked in tonight as well.
Yeah, you'd have to do that tonight, wouldn't you? I think that they're a neutral matchup. Let me consult the old DFS Australia. Half-backs, Essendon... Yeah, neutral. Basically, of the last 10, plus 0.3 on averages for designated kickers. So, neutral matchup. If you can afford some of those more expensive guys, even a Colby, McKercher, I'd probably prefer. But if you can only afford a 700k defender, then he's probably the pick of the bunch, I would assume.
Okay.
Yeah.
What do you reckon? 2 more questions and then we'll let everyone get ready for Bales?
Let's do it. 2 more questions.
Beautiful. Connor, gents, Sheasel and Ugly Hagen.
Oh, this must have been as a result of the...
Yeah, you had to sneak him in for the
Philippou.
poo. Okay, getting rid of them and bringing in Duggan and Moore. Or Newman and...
Matt Kennedy?
Yeah, let's take Matt Kennedy.
Yeah.
Or Wang and Simpkin. I like the middle option there. I mean, I'd love to have more for the Richmond matchup, but
Duggan, what...
Newman and Kennedy, let's go. Especially the Newman part of it.
Yeah. I think I'm that option too. I don't trust Duggan versus Carlton. Yeah, I'm probably that way. I mean,
The Kennedy thing could go horribly wrong.
It could. Kennedy could match more.
Yes.
He could.
Yeah.
I wouldn't
Do you
predict
think he
it.
could go more?
More than more? He might go less than more. Whereas I'm pretty confident I'm predicting Newman over Duggan every time.
Yeah, and I'm predicting Newman over Wang
Yep.
as well.
The last
And
option
then
I'm ruling out.
I don't like having Simpkin in my team, so I'm not going to tell Connor
Don't
to
recommend
put
it.
him in his team.
Yeah, I agree with you. Newman and Matt Kennedy. I'm hoping that is the player. M. Ken. He's just Ken.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right.
Okay. Last question. Andrew Beeston.
Is Sarong to Dunkley?
That's what I'm going to be doing this weekend. Beeston. Beast mode.
Beeson.
Feasting on Bales.
Beeson Bales.
No.
Is Sarong or to Dunkley more of an upgrade than Darcy Jones to Power? Darcy Jones? Holy shit.
DJ. It has to be the second, doesn't it?
Is Darcy Jones the helmet dude? Yeah, that's
Correct.
it, right? Yeah, no, you'd have to go the second
He was
one.
in your team, mate. He's probably coming on the end of season trip.
No, I got the other bloke who's still in my team, actually, Harvey Thomas.
Right.
Is this an F6? If this is F6, then yes.
Yeah.
If it's F7,
Sarong to Dunkley
I'd
could
do
be huge.
Sarong to Dunkley,
Okay. Hey, cool.
I think.
That's decisive, mate. That's unlike us.
Yeah, we'll stick with that.
Fuck yeah.
Say it confidently, no one will question you. All right, thank you very much, guys. We have 2 more weekends to go and a big round for a lot of us. Hopefully, Luke Rodro can fly the Ball Boys flag proudly this weekend.
Fingers crossed. I'm gonna jump on with Bales and Guesty in a second as well. So
Psych him out, talk shit.
Pump up that. I'm just gonna literally just stare down the camera the whole time and be like, "What are your thoughts, Rodro?" I'm just gonna fucking get right into it.
Zoolander, just straight up.
I did you notice when I said stare down the camera? I looked into the screen. That's
not the camera, mate.
I just love looking at myself.
Yeah, no, fair enough. But if you guys did not get your question answered, head over to Ask Me on Q/Ball Boys to get your question answered. And good luck with your fantasy team this weekend. Hopefully you can win your matchup, get into the grand finals if it is next week, or if it is your grand final this week, bring home the trophy, get the bragging rights over all your mates, and we will see you guys next week. Until then, catch you later. Bye.